Welcome on into the Wildcats Today live show. We did one yesterday breaking down the Tennessee game, but this one was a little bit more announced than that one. And the topic for us today is going to be the return of John Calipari to Rupp Arena. It's going to be a fun evening in Lexington. A 9 o'clock tip is just going to make something that's awesome even more exciting. So we're going to get right on into this. We're going to talk a little bit about our thoughts. Should he get booed? Should he get cheered on? Should you just stay quiet and root on your team? We're going to share our thoughts on this topic on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined as always by Carson, Nash. Carson, we're live. It's an evening and I'm fired up. What about you?
We're live, baby. I'm stoked. Great Thursday. I'm ready to talk a little basketball.
Talk a little round ball. I'm all in. So I'll get into it. So we're going to share our thoughts here, and then we will get to comments, people asking questions, sharing their thoughts on what is going on Saturday. So we'll get to some questions and comments here in a minute, but we both kind of want to share our thoughts before we get deep into this. So for me, Carson, there's a lot to break down within this discussion on the positive side and negative side. And that's the reality, is there are arguments to be made on both sides of this, and there's a lot of them. The first thing that stands out to me, I think that, John Calipari is coming into Rupp Arena tomorrow as the opposing head coach. What do we do to opposing head coaches normally? We boo them. Like, that's what we do. So, that's there for me. On top of that, the other aspect that stands out to me is the fact of Kentucky fans kind of wanted Coach Calipari out of here last year. We saved his money on the buyout. There's lots of positives and negatives, in my opinion, to both sides of this argument, and we're going to dive into it. So, Carson, break it down. What do you think here?
I've been thinking about this all week long, honestly, and I am still a little torn, but I think my head is in the right place. I think it's in one side for sure. And let me preface this before I make any sort of decision. But I mean, for me, the earliest I can remember watching Kentucky basketball was probably Jody Meeks when he went for 54 against Tennessee. But that was just a glimpse. I only remember that because it was such a heroic moment. The most parts that I remember are through the Cal era, like when John Wall arrived on campus and DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Bledsoe, and Patrick Patterson had stayed from that team in the previous year. And we got the fire back. We were Kentucky again. It felt good. We had bad years with Gillespie, and Cal kind of revived our program once again, which always happens to Kentucky. It always does. Our program always gets revived. But I mean, the last couple years of Cal's tenure here at Kentucky were lackluster, to say the least. They weren't what Kentucky fans held our standards to, right? And part of the reason that was because he lost his fire a little bit. So it was a good separation on both sides for us to let him go to Arkansas and for us to get Mark Pope. One, you saved a lot of money in that move, and you don't want to knock the Razorbacks too much, but they're not doing so hot this year. So I think it was best for both parties. But Cal has given me so many good memories and so many fun moments and moments with you and our friends and just loved ones. I'm not going to boo, but I'm not going to cheer. I'm not going to boo Cal. Now, Chin Coleman might hear it from me, or Bruiser Flint, because they don't know how to do their jobs. But Cal will not be getting a boo, and Tyler Eulis will be getting cheered from me. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, there's no question. Anybody that wants to boo Tyler Eulis, that's just a bad decision. So breaking this down, it is funny. I've been thinking about this all year. It's been something – because it's just interesting. How is this fan base going to react to a coach who did a lot of historic things here in this great city of Lexington? And the tenure doesn't end well. I mean, really, ever since that the Elite Eight loss right before COVID hit. After that, I mean, now to be fair, our team that the COVID canceled the tournament was really darn good, but still, after that team, it's not been great. I mean, Carson, you and I almost win our entire college careers without a
tournament win.
Like that is not Kentucky basketball right there. So, I mean, everything sometimes things start well and don't finish great. And that's kind of, to me, the tenure of John Calipari. There were so many. I saw a video today. There were so many great memories and things to take away. I mean, a national championship, all those Final Fours. There was a lot to take away positive from his tenure. I mean, there's absolutely no question about that, but it wasn't going well. And we had fallen into the trap of, oh, we lost to St. Peter's, but look at all these players we got coming in. Oh, we lost to Oakland, but look at all these good players we got coming in. So, I think that, and now Arkansas, welcome to that. Enjoy that. It's not a ton of fun. They're now falling into that. Well, we're 1-6 in SEC play, but hey, we got some good kids coming in next year. It'll be the same.
Darius A. Cuff and Malik Thomas. They're already pumped about them.
Exactly. And they're going to be good. But looking at the whole body of this debate, to me, I think that people are going to boo. They're just gonna. People are going without question to boo. People are going to cheer. I think that is what is going to happen. Now, so what I'm saying is you're going to hear both. You're not going to hear a lot of a full stadium, a full arena of boos or a full arena of cheers. It's going to be close. And just based off interactions I've had today on social media with friends and people, it seems so darn 50-50 to me. So, that is my take on what is going to happen this year. So my question for you, Carson, and then we'll hopefully get into some comments here in a minute. So start leaving some comments. We'll get to them. Carson, if you had to put a percentage on each end right now, percentage for cheer, percentage for boo, where would you list it right now?
I think it's like 70-30 boo.
Yeah.
I think he gets booed. I really do believe that. But he's an opposing team. He's an opposing coach. Like, yeah, Pitino got cheered, but Pitino came back like 100 years later. Like, this is a different situation. Cal is coaching a team that we were rivals with at some point in our history of basketball.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't been as good, Arkansas, but they were our rival at some point. Like, I don't necessarily agree with booing them, but I'm not going to be mad at people who do.
Yeah. And expanding on it further, this is the number one thing for me of why. Now, I really don't have the opportunity to boo if I wanted to, but if the reason I probably wouldn't boo, I'll tell you this, it's very simple. Looking at look what Arkansas has done this year. I mean, to me, I get that those who do boo aren't booing to say, you're just saying like the way it ended and all that. I get that. But at the same time, to me, I'm sitting here and looking at this and going, I'd much rather be where we are right now with all these top 10 wins and with all of the great success we've had early into the season than where Arkansas is. I mean, we would be sitting here. We'd already be talking about next year. We might even be talking about football right now, Carson, if Coach Cal is still our coach right now, or baseball maybe. I mean, that's the reality. So that's kind of the way that
And that's what Arkansas is talking about. That's the funny part.
Yeah. So I guess that's the way that this is going to kind of be broken down in my brain is you've got a big section of the crowd that's going to cheer and a big section that's going to boo. Now, I do believe I've seen a lot of folks say this, and I agree with this, but I think that Coach Calipari is going to get his ovation. So, you know what I mean? To me,
oh yeah,
this is SEC country. You're coming in, you're the opposing team. We don't like you right now. Not only because of everything that happened, but because this is SEC basketball. You're coming to our house in a game we need to win. And, oh, there we go.
That's a good comment from James.
But looking at that to me is why I think that this you need to take it and look at it that way. I think that the Kentucky Wildcats are in a great spot right now, not a spot that we thought we would have been at this point. You know what I mean? If you would have asked us heading into this year, nobody would have thought that we are where we are in Arkansas is where they are. So I think you've got to be appreciative of that.
100%. And like you said, Cal's going to get his praise. Like he may get a banner. He's going to get something. Cal's going to get his praise. He took us to four Final Fours and a national championship while he was here. Yeah. Like that's remarkable. Like honestly, he's done so much good for Kentucky, just as the state as a whole. So I respect Cal a lot. And I honestly had some run-ins with Cal too when I was on campus and worked for the athletic program for a little bit. And he was always super kind to me. So I have nothing bad to say about Cal. He's a genuine good guy. So he gets way more hate than he deserves, in my opinion, sometimes. So I'm not going to boo, but I won't be mad if other people do.
So assuming that, how long do you think Cal is at Arkansas? I don't know how long his contract is, but what's your ballpark guess? How many years is he there?
I'd say under 5.
Okay, I'd agree with you there. So when he leaves and retires, right, do you think he immediately comes to Rupp Arena and we love him? Because that's what I think happens.
I think that happens. Yeah.
I think it is a matter of,
because you can tell he misses this place. I mean, did you watch his press conference for today? I mean, he's talking about how much he has so many lifelong friends here and they're all Kentucky fans and he just misses this place, man. He gets giddy about talking about it.
Yeah. I think now here's another question we need to talk about, or the video today from Ricky P. The video from Pitino.
It's like Rick.
I thought that was weird. Just knowing the fact that they weren't even like pals. I don't know what he has to gain from that. And on top of that, this is a man who is the current head basketball coach of a top 15 team. Like, why? I don't understand it. But I mean, do you think that will, and someone commented that a minute ago, do you think that will persuade some folks the other way around?
Maybe, but I think people know what they want to do in their heart. I feel like most Kentucky fans have probably thought about it for a little bit. I mean, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities there. So I think people know what they're going to do, and it's what they're going to do is going to happen. And honestly, I don't know what to expect. Seriously, I really don't know what to expect. I think boos, but I really don't know what to expect.
I agree. I think it's going to be mostly boos, but at the same time, I think you're going to see some positive, I mean, even like when you go to a game in Rupp Arena this year, they do the coaching, who all's coached here and Calipari's on there. Like that, first of all, I don't know why, but I'm going to find that so interesting. Like when, seeing that when Cal's there and Pope's there. But I will, my father, who doesn't often say smart things, made a very, very good comment today. You know what he told me? Cheer louder for Pope. And I'm like, actually
that's a great thing. Yeah.
Cheer, seriously, like, you know what I mean? I think that's a way to look at it too. For those that maybe
like blow the roof off the place when they smart Pope.
If you want to make a point without booing, then cheer louder for Pope. I think that is a great way to go about that. So, Carson, you got any other thoughts, or should we go ahead and get into some of these comments? And those of you that are just listening and want to start commenting, go ahead and start letting them fly.
I think it's going to be a very emotional game. I think for Cal, I think for the players on Arkansas, I think for the fans, it's just emotions are going to be really, really high in Rupp Arena on Saturday night. And it's going to be exciting to see what unfolds.
Yeah, it really is. Now, I'll tell you this, and I saw Trevor asked for a little early prediction. Maybe we can end it with that. We can end it with a little early prediction. But I'll tell you this. They're going to give you their best shot. I just wrote an article about Adu. Did you see his comments? He was saying, I mean, I had this, he in essence said, I had this one marked since before I even committed. Which is,
he knows we love him though, and he loves us.
I mean, Adu was like my favorite player.
On the team. He was my favorite player on the team, no doubt.
So, I mean, that is why I think that you've got to. This is my point. You're going to get the best shot.
Okay, this is winning comment of the night. That is winning comment of the night. I'm only
Yeah, I'm only cheering for Kareem Watkins. I keep writing articles.
if you go to the Hill Saturday night, you'll see him.
Oh, you'll see him. Yeah, you will. You'll see him and Severe Wheeler, and they'll be fired up in there. But that is funny because I keep writing articles, and I wrote one today. I was like, Kentucky's gonna have 3 returning players. I'm like, am I supposed to include Kareem Watkins as a returning player? I was like, I don't know. I just didn't really. I was like, hopefully no one said anything about that. I'm not
stepbrother Kareem Watkins.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope that we beat them so bad that he gets a couple shots up.
Honestly, that would. You know what? If he hits a 3 at the end of the game, people should go nuts. I think people should go nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cade says, can you open up the phones? No, we cannot, Cade. So this is a funny one. I like this one. I saw that. Just go complete silence. I mean,
that's not a bad idea. They would be like, what in the world?
If you just went completely quiet because normally, when Arkansas or the opposing team's introduced, he sucks to their player, and then you suck too to the coach. Mm-hmm. They're just introducing and just nobody, the whole arena, 20,000 plus people are just don't say a word. And then
when our guys start getting announced, the place just explodes.
Okay, there you go, Cade. You got your comment up there, buddy. It's gonna be all right. So, we've got some more ones to. Mike Collins says he's been on hold for 15 minutes. He's literally downstairs watching this on the TV. I like the silence idea. So, are you looking for some over here, Carson? I'm looking. Mm-hmm. His coaching kept everyone at least 2. All right. What about this? What do you think about this one? I
mean, you kind of have to agree.
Yeah.
With that. I mean, with the talent that he had, I feel like a different coach could have won us those games, but at the same time, a different coach probably doesn't get that talent. So
it's true.
I mean, you got to look at it both ways there.
Yeah, that's just why I always wish he could have done a little bit better of a job with the staff around him. I know when Kenny left, that hurt a little bit, but the staff around him, he was
never the same. I'll tell you the biggest staff change out of all of it. It was John Robick. As soon as John Robick left the staff, it was never the same.
I agree with you. I think Kenny, when he left, that hurt a little bit too.
That was a big one too.
I just don't think these, although we saw how that went up, up in Louisville, not great, but
great to watch.
Yes, it was great to watch. It was, I'm with you on that. But
Kenny won those games.
If Calipari would have surrounded himself with more talented coaches, there's no debate that John Calipari is the best recruiter in college basketball. Any debate to that? Do you have any debate on that?
No. Yeah. John Calipari is the greatest recruiter of all time.
So knowing that we believe to be a fact, I think is a fact. If he would have surrounded himself with some better coaches to, really sure up the X's and O's, I think that the tenure wouldn't have ended the way it did. I do still think if you want to really talk about the end of his tenure at Kentucky, I don't think he fully adjusted to the times of the change in college basketball. She weighs a good pull in the portal. He did some good things in the portal. I think Sestina was a good player, but I just
he's a little like Rick Barnes. He's stuck in his ways,
Yeah.
Never really a great 3-point shooting team ever. And now in basketball, you got to make threes to win. So,
yeah. So, that is partially, a big part of it is it doesn't, that the dribble drive,
the game has changed. And he just didn't adapt to it.
Yeah. And that's just the reality of it. And it's a little, and I think that's why you're seeing he goes and gets Davis from FAU, who is, speaking of which, I've been surprised with how not well he's playing.
I know. It's almost like he's due, which is not fun.
Well, that's true too. I also think that I think that Boogie Fland, I'll be honest with you, watching him play, I think that he's such a good basketball player for the NBA. I just don't know if it is going to it never really translated to the college game. He's putting up numbers, but I'm saying I think in a way that almost doesn't help your team. So,
he's a ball dominant point guard.
Yeah. So I got another, I guess, question for you about the tenure of John Calipari, Carson. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So I've heard a lot of people continue to talk about the NBA talent he produced. It's great. And I've heard you say this. I don't remember if it was on the pod the other day or if it was just to me, but talk about, hey, it's really great that he's putting all these guys in the league. It's cool to be able to see the all-star selection. And we have 8 players, whatever.
Yeah, it was about Shea. I was talking about how he's going to win MVP, but it doesn't help us.
And that's great. It is all great, but what does it do for us as fans? And I mean, I think that, starting to hang your hat on the players he's put in the NBA, that's the thing I love most about what Mark Pope did when he took the job here at Kentucky. The reports were he took down all of the NBA stuff and he was putting up, banners and all that mattered to this program. You can go to the NBA. That's great. Go to the NBA, but you're here to win a championship for this great university and this historic program. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the NBA talent ever got to him a little bit and kind of took his focus almost a bit away from winning a championship?
Yeah, as much as I love Cal, he's a big ego guy, and nothing wrong with it. He's swaggy Cal, right? He's always had an ego. That's why he was such a good coach. But I thought that kind of was that was the bane of his existence as well, right? It's all fun and games with the ego when you're winning, but when you start to lose, that's when you really see true colors, right? So, it was a good separation at the end. The ending sucked. I didn't want it to end that way. I wish he was the ambassador of Kentucky basketball right now, recruiting for Pope, that would be awesome. But things didn't work out that way. He's going to get his cheers. He's going to get his cheers. He's one of the best coaches we've ever had. So, he'll get his cheers when it's due. I'm not booing. So,
yeah. All right. Now I got a question right here. Are we talking about as like a player, or are we talking about as a coach?
No, he's talking about as a coach for sure.
I would absolutely
the coaching staff.
I would love Tyler Ulis to come coach here. I think Tyler Ulis is going to turn into a great. Yeah, okay, coach. Yes, I appreciate you. Let me know. I think he's going to be a great college coach one day. I do. The moment I knew that, Carson, was last year, and I forget which game it was, but it was in the Journey, those post-game videos they post. There was this clip, and it was Coach Ulis talking about what still feels weird to say, Coach Ulis, a video of him, I think DJ, I forget what he wasn't doing, but Coach Ulis said, "You're not doing this. They're killing us with this. We got to stop this." And then the first clip out of the half was us. It was either getting a basket or getting a turnover, whatever it was, offense, defense. I forget that aspect. But I think he's a great basketball coach. I would love to see him on our staff at some point.
Oh no, I've been saying that since he coached La Familia. You saw what he did in that tournament. I'm really excited about Tyler Ulis and his coaching career because I think ultimately, and it ends up back in the blue and white at some point. I'm certain of it.
So here's one right here. Awfully weird to cheer for a head coach that, if he comes in and beats us.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, imagine, I'm not cheering. That won't happen. The cheering is off the table for me.
That right there, to me, I think is the number one thing we need. That's a great point, UK fan, 1996. I like that a lot. And the reason that kind of opened my eyes a little bit too. Why do we need to cheer? I think it should we be quiet or boo, to be honest? I think that should be the debate rather than cheer. Just the more you optically discuss that, although I think optically means see, whatever, besides the point. I think that the more you discuss it out loud, it sounds silly to me. Are we really going to cheer on an opposing? That, I think that seriously opened my eyes to this. You can be quiet. Like you said, Carson, you're thinking about just kind of sitting there and, minding your own business, not booing. I think that should be the debate. Should we be quiet or boo? It's going to be really weird to cheer on a coach if they do come in and play their miracle best game of the season and beat us. I just don't.
Because if they beat us, he is going to get in that post game and talk so much crap. But at that point, you just got to accept it. So, like, yeah, I'm not cheering them because there's still a chance that they do beat us. I mean, we're injured.
This one feels a little too soon. This feels a little too soon. 32 boos, one for every point Jack Golke had.
Wink Productions is on fire tonight.
Yeah, you are on fire with that one. I agree with this too. I agree with this. To applaud.
Yes, like a soft applaud is different than a woo, you know.
Like, I'm all in for if you want to golf clap them, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
I think that we stay. Yeah. I mean, the more, I'll be honest with you, the more I've been talking this out in my, and this is kind of why I was looking forward to doing this live tonight, was like to almost kind of gather my thoughts on it. And
I know I didn't even really know my decision before.
Yeah. Just hearing from some of y'all great commenters saying all this good stuff, I think I'm in on the just be quiet. I don't think you need to boo. And someone just said it right here. Cal will get his flowers in 10 years when he's out of the SEC. That's a great point as well. I think that
Cal's going to get his flowers.
Yes, he's going to. And there are so many good memories. And I do think the last, okay, there we go.
Yes.
We got
gotta put
we
him
got
on
Jake
there.
Newsel, 5 big boos. That is a pop culture reference to the Costco guys, those who don't pay attention to that. There's the Rizzler right there. So we talked about this a little bit though. I don't know. Like, I'm just a big believer. I like Coach Pitino. I think that it was cool seeing him come for Big Blue Madness and all that, but like, or do you think that video is going to stop Kentucky fans from doing what they were already going to do? Like, I don't know if I see that happening.
No, honestly, it's almost made some of them more fired up because Kentucky fans hate to be told what to do. Yeah. Like, they hate it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is, yeah, I think the Pitino video, I mean, it was just weird. Like when I saw that on Twitter today, when I was writing, I literally like dropped it. I'm like, well, I have to go write about this now. That was just really weird. I was not expecting that to happen the way it did. Oh, there you go. Right there. That's a very good point. That did occur.
He did do that.
He did do that. So I agree with that. Now, okay, I've got another question, and I'm just throwing hypotheticals at you. Is there any way that, like, you think Calipari is gonna? Wouldn't say get hostile, but you don't think he's gonna show any kind of how is he gonna react to the crowd? Is my question for you.
No, I don't think Cal will get hostile or freak out or any of that. Yeah. You know, Cal's been in so many arenas. People have, like he said, honestly, his quote was awesome. Did you see his quote where it was like, these arrows won't do nothing. I got bazooka holes in my body. Like, your pity words aren't going to hurt me. That's fair. I mean, he went into opposing arenas for 15 years and was called every name under the book a billion times. I mean, I'm sure he's heard worse than what Kentucky fans are going to say to him because he was one of our own at one point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll add to the point too. I mean, you're an SEC head basketball coach, dude. You got to be able to, you know what I mean? You got to be able to take it a little bit. I mean, he said it best himself. You're going to hate me. I come to your town and I beat your team. So I think that you got to be able to take it a little bit. And I think that he is going, and it's funny, like, am I going to feel bad? I'm like, I'll tell you this. I think I am. The whole situation is going to make me like kind of cringe a little. I'll be honest with you, because it's just kind of weird. It's just weird. Like there's no other way to describe it. So I think I'm anxious to see his face when he's
on fire.
He's on fire. Yeah. That is very funny. Artie and Jeff Ruby's. I bet the whole crew is.
They're getting together with Stoops and Marrow, all of them.
Yeah. I'd tell you this. Well, I'll tell you this right now. Jeff Ruby's is going to have a heyday tomorrow night.
They're making some money.
Yeah, they're having a big night. Now, okay. Now here's a question kind of coming off these questions. What about the players? Do you applaud the now? You definitely don't boo those players, in my opinion. But do you applaud those players, or do you just stay quiet there as well?
I'll probably do a little bit of a louder clap for a do. I mean, I probably will. I like a do, man. I just think that he wanted to be a cat. I think he knows he made a bad decision. And so
there you go. Mike says, imagine going to your ex's wedding and everyone boos you when you walk in. That probably would happen. I'll just be honest. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point too.
That is a good point.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm in on booing the players. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think one player in particular might get it worse than others. And you know, Wink is still throwing fire because I mean he's correct. I think Kentucky fans probably are going to give DJ a hard time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is a good point too. I agree with this. I really do not like the way Coach Calipari handles himself on the on the sidelines there. I don't think that he handles himself well. I've never liked that. I think Pope does it better. I mean, every coach is going to have a reaction, but I don't think that Pope's is anywhere near Calipari's. And I'll tell you this, Coach Pope literally said something about this in a press conference earlier in the year. He said, the refs can control the game. I mean, if you are rude, disrespectful, whatever word you want to use to the refs, you might not get that whistle. So, and I think that Coach Calipari at times hurt himself when it came to the whistle by the way he yelled at refs.
No, I 100% agree. There was a lot of refs that did not like Coach Cal and still don't like Coach Cal. But that's part of the Coach Cal experience, right? I talked about ego. He was always a fiery guy. That's what made him a good coach. It's just when you're losing, it doesn't. 2 and 2 don't go together.
Yeah. We got one here. So we got a friend of the program, Addie says, cheer for Cal, Adu, and Z. Wonder who's left out there. So we're only not cheering for one player. Noted. Here we go. We've got our list. Okay, boo. Kenny Payne, Chin, DJ, Bruiser Flint, and why Brad Calipari? Can we get a reason for why Brad Calipari?
You boo him just because he got that tattoo. That's the only reason why you boo him.
What is it? What did it say again? I've heard people
not given.
That's funny. Yeah.
And then his dad puts him on his coaching staff.
Yeah, that's funny. That you should get another one that says nepotism ain't no thing. That he needs that one right there. Let's talk a little bit about the actual ball game, Carson. We're gonna fully break down the game tomorrow, but keep putting in. If you got any questions about this situation, the players, any more related to kind of our main topic, go ahead and throw them in there. Or if you got any questions for the actual game, throw them in there as well. We'll talk about it for a minute. So tomorrow's show is not going to be live. We're just going to throw a pod out to y'all. So, Carson, what do you think are some keys to victory for Kentucky in this basketball game?
Yeah, you got to limit their guards. I mean, if Lamont's not going to play and Andrew Carr's out, you got to stop the penetration of John L. Davis and DJ Wagner, because I think penetration is the only way they can beat you, because they can't shoot. They're a little bit like a worse version. They are a worse version of Tennessee. So pretty much just let them shoot themselves out of the game almost at that point. And then if DJ hits 5 3-pointers, I don't know what to tell you.
The aliens are coming if that happens. I'm just going to be honest.
Kicking little sky falling.
So, okay. Now this one, I think the show up means, what do we got to do to win? Show up. I'll tell you this. We are much, much, much better at basketball than they are. There's no question to me. We are banged up. I'll add that. They're going to be without Boogie Fland, which, hurts them. Tomorrow, and maybe we'll give a prediction here in a minute. Carson, you and I can decide. We are going to I'm going to predict us to win this game probably by double digits. Probably.
How many rebounds does Amari have on Big Z?
Man, that's a funny question because we've yelled at both of those people at different times about not rebounding.
I know.
He's going to get 10 plus. But so all my only argument is I wouldn't put this one in your pocket yet. We got to show up and play well, Carson. And I don't think we're going to walk over him.
What are you doing right now?
Spread's 11. Is that already out? Where is that already out?
I did see someone say that today. DraftKings, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, there.
That is true. That is we did do that.
Yeah.
That was bad. We called that.
Yeah. I'm not even going to put this one up on the screen though, but I will add my papaw has told me this before. I don't know if that's him. I don't think it is, but he has predicted Big Z to have a big day. You know, to win this ball game for me, I think a dude's going to have a big game, and he's just one of those players.
That's the one I'm watching too because, I mean, you don't have Andrew Carr. Ansley's a little undersized. The dude's a freak. He's the one that scares me for them.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Here, I like this. This is a good point here from Chris Miller saying, booing every single one of them, make them uncomfortable. This ain't home for any of them. I mean, I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. Like, I don't know if I'm going to boo him. I don't know what's going to happen there.
That's what I'm saying. But to each their own. If you want to boo as loud as you can, boo as loud as you can.
And they did. I mean, they did leave. Like they did. You know what I mean? Yes, they could have stayed.
Left, and they had a bad loss, bad year. I mean, you can boo them. You have every right to boo them. Don't let the other media talking heads tell you what to do.
Yeah. You know, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, literally, Coach Pope went after Big Z and tried to go get him and couldn't get him. I mean, they made their decision. They had their chances. But they couldn't get him. And I'm telling you, I think that I don't hate that take of the whole, hey, you know what? They decided to leave. They did at the end of the day. They could have been here this year. Everybody but DJ. We had to take in Adu and Big Z. But all kidding aside about DJ, I did expect him to improve more than he has this year. I mean, I think without question he's been better, but I mean, he's not been good.
It's sad. I thought he was going to be real legit.
I didn't hear about this. Is that true? They booed Bradshaw in New York?
We were not boots on the ground there, so we'll have to get some.
If we booed Bradshaw in New York, and I will tell. Okay. I didn't mean to put that. Okay. All kidding aside, Mike, shut up. So I didn't know that, but I'll tell you this. If we booed Aaron Bradshaw, who's like the nicest dude ever, you better watch out, everybody coming on Saturday, because that's going to get hostile quick. I tell you that very, very quick. And great point too. He had a big game. So maybe we don't add fuel to the fire on that one.
No, well, I'm excited, like you said, the energy in Rupp Arena. I'm just ready. Like, I think walking into that arena on Saturday is just going to feel different than it has for a while.
Yeah, I expect the atmosphere to be incredible, like absolutely incredible. It's going to be loud in there. I mean, probably a few Sprites will have gone down. It's going to be a 9:00 tip. I mean,
9:00 tip.
It is. All kidding aside. Now that's a funny one. I don't even think that he knows who they play next. He hasn't looked down the schedule yet. He doesn't know who they play. Yeah, he hasn't heard from. I hadn't talked to him. I hadn't seen him. Hadn't seen him. Is Boogie gonna play? I don't know. I hadn't seen him, but it's gonna be rowdy in there at 9:00. You're gonna have a lot of people partaking in some adult beverages before that thing tips off. I tell you this, I would not want to be an Arkansas. There you go. Player or coach. Right. Seriously, I wouldn't want to be. That sounds like no fun to me. Precisely, my friend. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. Give me your prediction, Carson. Give it to me. Well, it's the people that have stuck around. We're going to give it to you again tomorrow. And we might change because things are going to happen. Lamont could get ruled out, which, by the way, I don't feel great about Lamont playing right now.
This sounds like a hell of a Saturday night. Kentucky game, Royal Rumble, and some twisted teas.
I don't know what's Royal Rumble.
WWE? How you not know the WWE?
I don't know.
John Cena.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Well, that's a good one. So give me a prediction, Carson. Because once again, they're probably going to change tomorrow. They're probably going to change tomorrow based on who's in, who's out. Let's pretend right now pretend Lamont's out and give me a prediction.
Okay. Lamont's out. Jax has to run point again. I feel comfortable with Jax run the point guard. I mean, do you not?
I don't want to say I feel better about it, but I really like it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think we win comfortably. I think we covered the 11-point spread because I think Arkansas is a team, and we've seen it because they were our team. They hang their heads when they get down. They do. And so I think we come out and we are the more physical team. We're the better shooting team. We're just all around better team. I think we beat them by more than 11 points.
I mean, at the moment right now, I kind of think we do too. They aren't as good as we are. I mean,
we didn't talk about this enough on our last pod. With Lamont being out, having Amari as a piece that can facilitate the way he does is so impressive. Shout out Gauntz for that one. There you go, Gauntz.
Yeah, that is a good call there. Is that Boff? Is that Boff one allowed to make it up there? You decide.
Wait, where is it?
Right there. You got to decide if that's allowed up or no. I think it's right on the line. I'm all in on it. I'd take the over on both. Is what I would personally take. And I wouldn't. That's one of those. You mortgage your house and put the over on both of those. That's what you do. And then you rob two banks and bet the over on that. And I think that's going to hit for a lot of fans in that stadium.
A lot of fans. A lot of fans.
I think that we win this game by double digits, Carson. I do. I said it yesterday on the live we did yesterday, and I'll say it today. I definitely am a little concerned. I made my whole spiel on narratives. I hate narratives in sporting events. I think that they don't help us in any way. This narrative is not this narrative. We have everything to lose in essence because we're the better team. They don't really have much to lose. They aren't very good. They come here and win. Awesome. They come here and lose. Everyone expected it. That's a team that has nothing to lose is scary.
They are.
A team that has the narrative in their side is scary. And they have both.
And as much as they've been disappointing, they got talent.
They do have talent. It's kind of, even when we've seen Calipari teams struggle over these last 5 years, they've had their games. You go, oh my, and they be like when we hung 115 on Alabama last year, that team that went to the Final Four. They've had their moments. They have had their moments this year.
Wait, wrong one. This is a crazy take. I think. I don't think you should ever emotional hedge the Cats. I'd never bet against Cats.
Yeah, I think you emotional hedge in like the Super Bowl, like you put $50 on the Chiefs, like that's an emotional hedge. Well, no, but you're an Eagles fan. See, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm not putting money on the Chiefs because they'll probably win because they'll get 150 penalties leading them down the field to score free points.
So I like this a lot. The injuries will only help us later when we're healthy, when the bench is getting experience. Breakout game for Chandler. If we got a breakout game from Colin Chandler, that would be huge. All you can ask for is more and more and more players that can help you. That's what wins in March. There's always one player that steps up for a team to make a run. There's one player who I don't know if I would say you wouldn't expect, but someone that kind of plays better than they have all year. If I had to guess who it's going to be right now, I would probably say Ainsley Almanor or maybe Kirk Risa if he makes his return. But it would be really cool to see Colin Chandler have a breakout game. He did look more comfortable.
You know what would be cooler?
What?
If Trent Noah somehow got off. Because Cal told Trent basically that you're not good enough to play here. So it would be really special if Trent Noah decided to hit a couple logo threes for him.
Yeah. And I mean, he is playing the game right. There we go, right there.
Yep.
Good comment. Number 2.
Good call out. Yep. We're right on the same page
history.
there.
My 2 favorite topics are Kentucky basketball and Jake Newsel slow pitch softball shortstop highlights.
That left side's gross.
Well, because you got somebody picking everything over at first base. But putting his body on the line, kneecaps and all. You know, I think that Trent Noah continuing, I love players stacking great performances. What he did against Vandy was awesome because he hustled and he was going after rebounds. Then he comes in and goes 2 for 2 from the field on Tuesday against Tennessee, scores 5 points, makes both of his shots, helps you all around. I mean, he's playing basketball really, really well right now. I didn't expect him to be a player that was going to help us at this point in the season. And if I'm Trent Noah, I don't think Andrew Carr is going to be healthy enough. Now, Coach Pope did have an interesting quote on Andrew Carr. I think that he basically said, I think, Carr could have gone back out there, but I'd push back on that and say, I don't know.
Did you watch tape?
Yeah. Like, did you watch that blow by? I think a lot. I was about to say I could have blown by him and dunked, and I can't dunk, and I definitely couldn't have blown by him. But still, I think that most Division I players could with his current health. So I don't know if you throw him out there if he's not healthy. So to me, Trent Noah is going to get his minutes, and if I'm Trent Noah, I want to go over there and I want to say, yeah, Coach Cal, I know you're at Arkansas now, but you don't know ball because I'm really good and you didn't want me. Tough. You know who did want him? Mark Pope. And I think that it's gonna pay in the following years, even a little bit this year. It'd be even greater, like you said, if 6'6" and cannot dunk. My own father just comments. That's great to see.
Yes, give that some love.
Great with the grammar there, Dad. Mixing water. But that is Trent Noah would be a great player to end up being one of the guys that takes over in March.
No, yeah. I think and this is what we kind of talked about a little on yesterday's pod, right? I mean, with these injuries, it's not a good thing that these players are hurt, but it gives other guys the opportunity to step up and make plays that will need those guys to make in March.
Yeah. You need a guy to step up like that. I mean, every team that makes a special run has a player elevate. And that could be.
Here's the great example. Marcus Lee, Michigan game, Elite Eight.
There you go. That is
or Final Four. No, yeah. It was Elite Eight.
Yeah, it was.
Because we beat Wisconsin in the Final Four.
Yeah. So
long time ago.
Yes. But to me, that is why you need and it doesn't have to be a player that isn't a big role player. Like it doesn't have Ainsley Almanor is a great candidate, Trent Noah, a great candidate for that. It could also be Jackson averaging 24 points per game in the tournament, taking us to a national championship. It could be your one of your good players going from here to here. That can happen as well. So someone's going to have to step up. And I mean, we're talking about, you got to be a top 4 seed in the SEC, in Nashville, in the SEC. You want to be a top 3 seed in this NCAA tournament. So somebody's going to have to continue to step up. And it was great to see, Jackson and Kobe both play well against Tennessee, because we need more of that to be successful.
I agree. And to piggyback off of what you just said about seeding, seeding is so important in the SEC tournament this year. If you can sneak into that 1 through 4 and get the buys that are needed, that's crucial, because the SEC is insane this year. You could lose to about every single team. You could lose to every team. Honestly, you could lose to every team. Yeah. I mean, you lost to Vandy and Georgia already, so you can lose to every team. So I mean, just that alone is ridiculous.
Yeah. Watch out for that. So I agree with this. Carr and Butler can sit out and heal. We need some experience from the bench. I agree with that. I think that I'll just tell you this, and I'm not saying we don't need Lamont Butler. I'm not saying that. We need him. He's a great player on this team, but the ball has not moved like it did on Tuesday in a while, in my opinion. It just hasn't moved that well. I thought the ball moved so well. Oh man. Okay, this is who has better ball security, Connor Hall or Amari Williams? We're talking about a Connor Hall who has not once scored on me in the paint, so I'm gonna go Amari Williams.
Hey, did you see Amari's play? Driving in the lane, going up and over, and then that pass out to Jackson in the corner.
I thought was it to Ainsley? I thought
was it to Ainsley? I don't know. I get them all confused.
that one got me. That was one of my favorite plays of the game. Actually, was that kick out pass and shot there.
It was nasty. It was nasty.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. So it's hard to not be excited about this basketball team right now. I am probably Vaughn. That is a correct answer. Yeah, I mean he can handle a ball fine, but I've never seen that dude play defense ever. So Carson,
ball handling 99.
Yeah, ball handling 99, ball knowledge 0. Carson, give me your thoughts on this entire conversation, wrap it up, and then let's get on out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this weekend.
That never happened, but whatever.
I'm really, really excited for this weekend, and it's gonna be a very emotional night. I mean, I'm gonna be a little emotional, like not teary-eyed or anything, but I mean, Cal was my coach. I mean, he brought me so many good memories that you got to respect him. And it's going to be a really, really fun night too, because we get to see greatness, Mark Pope and Cal on the floor. We 2 Kentucky guys, right? So I'm excited. I think we should cherish our own more than boo the other team. Just get really, really loud for what we have now, because what we have now is really, really exciting.
Agreed. That's my takeaway from it is if you want to boo, boo. If you want to cheer, cheer. If you want to be quiet, be quiet. It's a big game Saturday, and that should be we're focusing on. Now this conversation's over. It is now fully break down this ball game. I mean, for us, for everybody. And I think that everybody is really excited to see the Wildcats hopefully go take care of business against this Arkansas team. But you'd love to see, I mean, there's no question that Coach Pope would really like to beat Coach Calipari in his first appearance. So that is my thought there. Anything else, Carson, before we get out of here?
No, that's all I got. I appreciate everyone in the comments and watching us. This was fun again. I love this.
It is fun. We're going to schedule our little get out of here thoughts. So the notification bell on YouTube, we had some folks comment yesterday and say, hey, like, I know y'all said you put updates on social medias. If you don't have any social media, turn on the notification bell. I put this live up at like noon. And when we put it up, it like will tell you, hey, they're going live at 6:30. So you can press that. I want to know who that is, because I feel like we definitely know that person. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If we know who you are, Wink Productions, text us, because I just have a feeling. So hit that notification bell. You'll know whenever we're doing stuff. Hit the subscribe button. That helps us a ton. We're trying to get to 3,000 now. That's the next goal. We just hit 2,000. And hit the like button. That helps us as well. Tomorrow, we will have a show previewing the Arkansas game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Talk about our thoughts on that ball game. Really appreciate it. Go Cats, and we will see y'all tomorrow right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.